If you're looking to create consistent revenue as a real estate investor, whether that's a wholesaler or anything else, consistent revenue, then you need to figure out how to market for the right leads. And one thing that many people don't know is that driving for dollars remains the undefeated, undisputed champ when it comes time to creating lists to market to.
I want to thank God for this victory.
So you may be asking, well, why driving for dollars? What makes it so amazing is that it requires work. And in this business, anything that requires work decreases competition. So in this video, I'm actually going to share with you all of the biggest difference between driving for dollars and any other of the motivated seller lists that you're going to possibly be buying or getting as you market for leads. So with that being said, let's get into this. This is John Barbera with an investor's journey, bringing you the best tips and strategies that we use to build and grow our real estate business. Everything we share with you are things that we are doing right now in our current business and what we've used to grow our business to where it's at now. So if you're finding any value as you listen to this video, I ask that you support us by hitting that thumbs up on the YouTube channel. It gives us a lot of help. It really means a lot to us. So consider hitting that thumbs up. Now this video right here is actually going to be a part of a whole series that I'm doing on how to do driving for dollars correctly and everything. So make sure you check out the link. If you're watching on the video, it's right up here. Or else you can also check out in the description, I'm going to put the link to the playlist. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get the videos as they drop, so you stay ahead of the competition. In case you didn't know, which apparently a lot of you didn't know, is that we started offering more or less mentoring sessions that you can pay pretty much by the session. So we call these discovery sessions. You can go ahead and click the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one with us. And if you're in San Antonio, this could be in person or through video or phone, whatever's more comfortable with you. The session will be recorded so you can go back to it, and we analyze everything of where your business is now. Where do you want it to go? What are the next best steps, resources, people you should be connecting with? This is something that's going to 10x your business this year right now because you're getting real actionable advice that's going to help you right now. So if you're interested in the discovery session, make sure you click the link below and schedule one today. So why am I saying that driving for dollars is going to be so much better than buying a qualified, motivated sellers list? Very simple. Is those lists are not guaranteed to have one, qualified sellers, and two, motivated sellers. This is just a list, right? It's a list of whatever it may be, whether it's code violations, water shutoffs, a million things, right? High equity, absentee homeowners, probates, divorces, whatever you want to look at. And yes, they may be on that list, but it doesn't mean they're motivated. It doesn't mean that they're qualified. A lot of these lists, what people don't know is that they're not even that accurate. There's so many lists that are not 100% accurate because even, let's say, the high equity, right? There's a lot of high equity lists that they can't actually see if somebody took out a second or third mortgage on the house. If they refinance, they can't see those things. They only see the original note. So they factor in by that. And when you're looking at today's market with the massive appreciation we've been having and the low interest rates, so many people have been refinancing. So yeah, you might be pulling a list that you think is high equity, and then all of a sudden these people are like just not responding to any of your marketing because they just refinanced. Maybe they just updated their home. So all of these things, they're not showing you qualified, motivated seller. But like everything else, it is much easier to buy a list than it is to get off your ass and go build a list. And this is the biggest key of what's going to separate you from your competition and help you generate consistent leads and deals and revenue, monthly revenue that you can depend on versus everybody else, because you are actually getting out and doing things that others don't like to do. And this is something that you need to think about when you're thinking about marketing. You need to look at, even if you are pulling lists, right? You need to look at what is a way that I can target this list that others will not do, right? Because it requires more work, it requires more time. So just to give you a little backstory, when I started as a wholesaler. I started wholesaling houses. I was broke as hell. So what I did is I was handwriting letters, right? I was handwriting letters. Those were working until everybody started handwriting letters as well. Then I switched over to postcards. Then a lot of people switched over to postcards. And so it started getting very saturated. So then I started thinking, I'm like, what is it that people are not doing? Well, nobody wants to go knock on somebody's door. They just don't. Started door knocking. It was working. So more people started door knocking. Started cold calling. People don't like cold. Even now, people don't like cold calling. I started cold calling. It was working. So I'm always thinking, what is the next thing that I can do that people just don't have the time, the resources, or the availability to do, or even the want to do, right? And driving for dollars is just one of those things. Driving for dollars is one of those things that it requires time, it requires research, it requires patience. I mean, these are things, and it's work, right? And it's things that the majority of people do not want to do. So this is that added advantage that you will have by being able to put in this kind of work. Now, I did want to address that. I have seen online other people that say, don't drive for dollars, it's a waste of time, do SEO, do Facebook, do this, do that, do virtual driving for dollars, whatever the fuck that is. The truth is, honestly, is when you're looking at driving for dollars or you're looking at anything that anybody else is saying, is keep in mind that might work for them in their market. Keep in mind that maybe it works for them because they have more people, right? They have more money. They have more resources. There's a million things that factor in their advice of why it's so broad and general for everybody. You got to look at yourself and your situation and determine which one of these strategies will actually suit me the best. So here in San Antonio, driving for dollars is still really good. It has been ever since I started doing this, and it continues to be because, again, it requires you to get off your ass and go drive a neighborhood. And not many people like to do that, especially the big guys. They don't like driving. They don't like they really don't like doing much work at all. So you doing this will set you aside from everybody else. So what do you need when you are going to be driving for dollars? You say, okay, John, you sold me. I want to go drive for dollars. I want to create those lists that nobody's marketing to. I want to create those properties nobody can find. Great. This is what you need to do. First, you got to do the research. All right. You need to do the research. You need to figure out where to go drive, how to go drive, what houses you're looking for, all of that. And then you got to actually go drive. This means, getting ready, scheduling the days, all of these things, getting ready, doing the drive, making sure you're looking for the right properties. And after you compile the list, you want to scrub the list because you're going to compile a list of a whole bunch of properties. But now you got to see, are these even properties I want to market to, right? So there's a lot of criteria that you want to scrub for in there. And then you want to actually market to the list. And you have different marketing avenues that you can go for, everywhere from like free to very inexpensive to very expensive. And all of these categories, I'm actually going to cover in depth, video by video, as we move forward through this series. So again, remember to hit subscribe so you make sure you don't miss any of these videos. But I'm going to break down in the coming weeks each one of these categories. I'm going to break down how we research the neighborhoods we're going to drive, how we drive these neighborhoods. What is it that we look for? And this is an actual video walkthrough of how we do it. You're going to be sitting along in the passenger seat with me, and we're going to be looking at the houses. I'm going to be pointing things out so you can pay attention. You can understand what it is that you look for. Because trust me, it is not just those houses that look like they need to be torn down. That's what everybody writes. I'm going to show you how to look for the key areas of houses that still show signs of distress, massive distress, and get you properties that other people are not writing down, even if they are driving for dollars. And then we're going to break down how we scrub it. What are the criterias? Depending on your market and the neighborhoods and everything, how we scrub these lists to compile a list that's actually worth marketing to. And lastly, I'm going to show you one way. I'm going to show you how we market to these lists, as well as other types of marketing that you can do depending on your revenue, depending on your income, on the amount of money you have available, on the time you have available. We're going to cover all the different types of marketing strategies. Driving for dollars, I'm telling you, it is by far the best strategy to use. It's a list that, unless anybody else drove that same neighborhood and wrote down the same exact houses that you did, which is extremely rare, nobody else is going to be targeting those properties. Your competition is almost non-existent. So subscribe, make sure you pay attention to this, and remember, if you have questions or you need more one-on-one training, then hit that discovery session link below and schedule a one-on-one with us. We'll sit down with you, we'll analyze your situation, and we'll help you get to the next level. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.